Hello YouTubers, Troz here, back playing more Factorio All-Item Train. Um, last time, we mostly finished off this tab. We did actually quite a few things, including all the rocket parts and the satellites. As I mentioned last time, there's there's not much left to do for this tab, but there are a few things. There's the science, and then while you technically can't make it, there is like you can't handcraft it, but there are the used up uranium fuel cells that we need to create. But I'm gonna skip both of those, the science and the fuel cells. For the fuel cells, I'm gonna put in, let's say, a bunch of reactors and just have them running but not actually doing anything. But every 200 seconds we'll get a fuel cell, used up fuel cell. And then we can put those on the train. But I'm not going to set that up this time. The science I do want to set up. I've decided I'm not going to import them from my science area, which I could, but at least at this point, I don't want to set it up. I want to put it at the end of the bus so that it gets just the leftovers, because we already have a crazy science production area if we really wanted to get things quickly. So we'll just put it at the end of the bus. So that means for now, I'm going to move on to this combat tab. Before I do, let's just check this out, what we're producing here. We've got all the boxes, the belts, the inserters, electricity and pipes, vehicles, locomotives, and then cars and tanks, logistics network stuff, circuit network stuff, and then flooring and flooring removal or cliff removal. Basic production, repair, and blueprints. Well, technically the blueprints are we don't have actual blueprints. That's just what's in our storage network. This is power generation, steam, turbines, solar, accumulators, nuclear reactors, heat exchangers, and heat pipes. Mines, pumps, offshore pumps and drills, furnaces, assembly machines, refineries, chemical plants, centrifuges, and science labs, beacons and modules. And then from the third tab, we've got like the basic raw materials, secondary materials, planks of wood, iron and copper plates, solid fuel, steel, plastic and sulfur are kind of secondary oil products. I'm not sure why batteries are here, but sure, batteries are here, and explosives are also here. Not to me, these two are more than secondary because they take a lot more than just basic processing to make. Then we have the fluid barrels, etc. Wires, sticks, gears, empty barrels, different circuits, and the different engines, and robot frames. And then satellites and science production. I believe that blinking means we're actually producing those, or they're going into storage. Their numbers are changing because we actually are still creating uranium at the moment here. And then we got fuel cells. And we do have a little more. We have landmines, just because when we're producing explosives, they're one of the ingredients to making landmines, so it was easy enough to have landmines in that. And we were also creating radars because, hey, we needed them for our main bus every so often to keep things lit up. Well, lit up on the map at least. Looks like the sun has gone down at this point, but that won't stop us. Our next production will be weapons. Well, we are already producing the landmines, but we need to produce all the other weapons. So I have a blueprint here to do that. Let's stick that down. And I got a bunch of belts here, and hopefully everything lines up correctly. I think I do have one pair swap that I'll have to fix, but the robots will fill that in. I believe I just have to do something like this. Of course, I went over there. Hopefully the materials are coming. Come on, you're right next to a roboport. If you can deliver me... so basically we have some wood come in that we turn into wood planks. Those are used to make shotguns. And possibly the combat shotguns as well. These are normal handguns, which there's only one assembler because they make rather quickly, and we have 2 assemblers for the submachine guns, just like we have 2 assemblers for each of the shotguns. And it'll be much easier to discuss once all the modules are in place. But yeah, most of these, the pistol takes 5 seconds, but with all the beacons, that's under a second. Whereas everything else takes 10 seconds, so we have 2 of them. Both of these need wood, so they're at the front where we produce the wood. Everything else basically just needs basic parts. The rocket launcher is the only thing that needs circuits. Here we go. So we have 1 handgun, 2 submachine gun, 2 flamethrower, and 2 rocket. And that's it. Alright, let's double check. Yes, all of these line up. Okay. We're obviously making the modules that we just placed, but everything else is about normal. Let's leave that one out. Alright, let's start this up. And then underground belt to you. So we got wood planks being made. This is feeding the 2 regular shotguns, while this should be going over to feed the 2 combat shotguns. We got handguns going. We've got I was gonna say you're at 40 minute, but you're going up. Yeah, everything is above 60. Some as high as 72. The chests aren't that big, so I don't think any of these will run for a full minute. Some of these are higher as 80. But yeah, that's pretty much what we expect. You're already full. You just filled. You've long filled. You're just about to fill. You're filled. And you're filled. So there we go. That's weapon production. And weapon production is even complete now. We're still gonna have to get it on the train later, but at least for the time being, that's that. So next, we're gonna need some ammo. That's basically, I consider these two together to be one line. There just wasn't enough room for more ammo, but we got gun ammo, shotgun ammo, tank ammo, the artillery ammo, the rocket ammo, and the flamethrower ammo. We're going to be doing the shotgun ammo now, just because the gun ammo, you wind up with uranium rounds. Same with the tank, the higher end needs uranium. Same with the, well, rocket, and technically this is an atomic bomb, but it kind of looks like a rocket, so I have them all together. I would kind of actually like if this needed an explosive rocket as part of the recipe, but so because all these technically use uranium, I'll put them over by the uranium processing. Shotgun ammo, though, does not have a uranium type, so it will fit in nicely right here. And while that builds, let's get these in. So this is pretty straightforward in that the shotgun shells take some iron and copper, and then the piercing shotgun shells take normal shotgun shells, more copper, and steel. But they also take longer, more than twice as much. These only take 3 seconds to make, these take 8. So we have 4 normal shotgun assembler machines. I thought I had 5 of these at one point, but I guess I have 4. And then because these go faster, we'll get a little extra, and then we'll put that little extra in the chest. So if I did this correctly, this should work out something like this. Alright, we almost have all the beacons or modules in place. And oh, here we come with the materials. How are we doing on module production? Somewhat slow going, but alright, one more. That should be it there. Okay. And this does look like everything's lined up correctly. So, let's start shotgun ammo production. We have the steel going underground until up here. See, that's being made very quickly at over 500 a minute. And we got the piercing shotgun rounds at 225 a minute or so, maybe 250. Oh yeah, definitely 250 now. And then, yeah, shotgun ammo is going into this chest. Piercing is going into this chest. Basically, it's going to focus on piercing until this chest is full. And then, the normal ammo is no longer going to be grabbed by the piercing ammo assemblers. And we'll get more in this chest. But yeah, let's see. With the production, with this at like 550, this can't go more than 275. Actually, these have more speed speed modules on them, so it should even out the production rates. So these are at 450, and these are at 600%. Yeah, I think I originally had one with 4 and 5, but they all have the same number of speed modules. But I think this worked out to make better use of the materials, let's say. How? Okay, these stack in 200s, so this will be running a bit before it fills them up, but it won't be too long. I mean, we're doing more than a stack a minute, so this should not be running more than 5 minutes. I mean, basically probably only has 2.5 minutes left. So that's the shotgun ammo. Why are you? Well, that's why you're blinking. Can we fit? Well, it won't be straightforward, but just adding in an underground belt. There we go. Now you're fitting. That should have been a robot taking. Yeah. So we're missing a shotgun there, but the robot will be bringing it over now. And oh, ammo's already over there. Where'd you go, Mr. Robot? Oh, there he is. Alright, that's taken care of, or will be quite shortly. So, now the next thing is probably, there we go, probably the normal gun ammo. But like I said, that takes uranium. So we're gonna walk across to the other side of the base here, the other side of the belt. Alrighty. It's actually quite a few new belts over here, but alright, let's see where we are. Yeah, actually, let's do this first. So before we do the gun ammo, flamethrower ammo. This is actually relatively straightforward. I mean, you need 3 ingredients. You need light oil, heavy oil, and some steel plate. So we got a belt here. That's coming all the way from up here. So we'll get some steel plate, and that, I mean, goes a long, long way up from here. And here is the blueprint. So yeah, this is basically 7 chemical plants, and the chemical plants only run at the same speed as a blue assembly machine. No, actually, yeah, I thought they only ran at a blue assembly machine speed. No, they do run at yellow assembly machine speed. Okay, and they're all speed beaconed up. I believe I have it this length because by that time the last one doesn't get as much steel as it really needs. And the other thing we need is the heavy and light oil. So let's hook those up. So we have the heavy oil on the top and the light oil on the bottom. I do think I'm going to need to switch those around. So let's set that up. And, you know, we're going to need power here. Alright, here comes the steel. We got power. We need some more modules. And it looks like we're going to need a robo port so that chest is in the network. And where are the robots with these pipes? Yeah, these pipes have their own pump out of the reservoirs here and the oil trains. Alright, here we go. We got light. Oh no. Okay. I think we're in the right order ish. Let's go like that. And yeah, I don't think this is far enough to be worried about the distance. So that's the heavy oil. There's the light oil, and we don't have all of our speed beacons in, but oh, we just got a few more. There they go. All right, now we have all our speed beacons in, and we're producing 560, 550, 60 of these a minute. Yeah, you see by this last one, it's not getting quite as much steel as it probably should, but it's still helping production. This kind of has a pass-through if you wanted to add more, but you need more steel. Luckily, these stack in 500, 500, 100, so there's not as much. We're going to store 500 of them. And that's flamethrower fuel production. Next. What did I have where? Alright, let's okay, I know where this one is. Rotate. This is the ammo production, gun ammunition, and unless I miss, this is here. Alright, we have a belt or 6 belts, I should say. This all comes from here. So I'm just gonna put these all in at this point. This is ammo production. This is kind of based on... Well, let's go up here and... Yeah, I got this blueprint off of Factorio prints, but it doesn't use beacons. So I went on my own and kind of created a beaconed version. It has less assemblers, but I think is faster overall. Basically, we have 2 normal ammo. What do they call it? Just firearm magazine. And they produce in 1 second normally. Then we feed 5 piercing round assemblers, and they normally take 3 seconds and take 1 of the firearm magazine each. And then that gets fed into, oh, it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 uranium round magazine production assemblers. And they take 1 piercing round magazine each. Down the end here, any overflow normal firearm magazine goes into this chest. Any overflow piercing round goes into this chest. And okay, yeah, I think that does need to be a filter inserter. Otherwise, it would also pick up uranium, which happens to be on the same belt. And then the actual uranium ammo goes into that chest. So we're going to need uranium, the 235 variety, and I mean, we have a ton stored up, but we're also producing it at quite the rate, so we're going to draw off any excess before it gets stored to supply these machines. And actually, that's not right. That should be like that. Because we need... No. That's not right. That should be like that. We need 1 lane that needs to be on the upper side because these output to the lower side. Alright. Let's feed in these other belts. Yeah, for the rest of these belts, it doesn't matter what side. They're actually intended to be 2-sided. And let's get you some power. Oh, how did that happen? There we go. That should power everything, and we'll just need a roboport at the end. How are we doing? Again, we're making about 550 of those a minute. And then we're making about 520 or 500-ish a minute of the piercing. Well, now it's like 480. And then we're making, let's say, 450 to 475 of the uranium ammo. That actually might have just gone up. No. Yeah, so the steel actually is being fed into the belt here with the normal ammo, as we only need one of them, but we got a full belt of copper because you need 5 copper plates. But it looks like we're not always... Like, we can't keep all 5 of these running because there's just not quite enough copper, but it's close. And the same thing for like the last 2 assemblers here. There's not always quite enough ammo coming down, but eventually they get it. But still, over 400 rounds of uranium ammo a minute. I said over 400. Why are you slowing down? Oh, we're slowing down because we ran out of U-235 here. Because it's all being recycled for the Corvarex process. Now, here's the thing I could do. That will definitely help. Because all these are full, so if we just start emptying them, that will keep this belt filled. And our production should kick back up. There we go. Well, it's hard to keep track of. But you can see it's bounced back up to the rates. Yeah, over 400 now. 500. Over 450. And yeah, oh, okay, we're almost done. Alright, technically we now are done. And then we just have to wait for these then now to fill up, now that they're not being produced or not being consumed by the next tier quite as rapidly, or let's say at all. Alright, I'm just going to put these back. Okay, so that's the gun ammo. Say next is the tank cannon ammo. And we're gonna need to do a little more for this one, because while I had what items were going where here, I actually did not remember to make a note of what the pipe hookups were. Alright, so it looks like I have these belts slightly out of order, but that's easy to fix. It's just the uranium comes down here, and then all the others go over like this. This needs plastic, which, while I want to say not much else does, anything that uses red or blue circuits is using plastic, but not many recipes just use plastic directly. I do have 16 lanes of it, which I probably should have thought better of. I did cut off the one set. Was this one of the few recipes? You know, we have 3 or 4 things that take plastic off right now, but yeah, not many things other than circuits use plastic directly. So there's basically 2 types of shells. There's the normal cannon shell, and there's the explosive cannon shell. And then both can be upgraded with uranium to the uranium cannon shell, which obviously is the normal cannon shell plus uranium, and then the explosive uranium cannon shell, which is the explosive cannon shell with uranium. So the explosive one is uses, well, actually they both use the plastic. So we have a little bit of sulfur production here, and then a little bit of explosive production, more for the explosive line, and then each has 3 normal producers and then 3 uranium producers. And I use this little underground trick to pass on only the uranium, I think? Yes. Alright, so we're going to need 2 different liquids here. Well, we're going to need water, and we're going to need petroleum gas. And yes, we have petroleum gas here. Let's so we have petroleum gas coming over here to the sulfur production. And then we have it come down here and turn and go this way. These are the explosives and cliff explosive production. Explosives and cliff explosives and landmine. Just because, hey, we have explosives. So I'm gonna break this here. And put in an elbow and some pumps. So we should now be filling this tank from this tank. So this, well, I'd say this was should go down, but it looks like it's being filled just as quickly, which is good. And then we'll take this line here, and we'll bring it down to where we need it. Alright, and if I'm mapping everything out correctly, let's bring that down one more. That should be here. And this needs to be water. Now, luckily, water is relatively simple to get. There should be a lake just down here. And we'll need 1 offshore pump. And that's the water. I think that just leaves power and maybe some Roboport coverage. So we have the 4 chests here for the 4 types of cannon shells. And let's just route this over. That all looks good. So let's get this running. So you see we split the steel on the plastic onto 2 lanes going in 2 directions. And then we got coal feeding our sulfur producers, which then feed our explosive producers, which then go to produce the basic, either standard tank shell, which takes 1 explosive, or the explosive tank shells, which take 2 explosives. And then those go on to feed the uranium tank shells, or explosive uranium tank shells. And it looks like we're doing at least 120 a minute for all of them, which is 2 a second, which is what we'd like. I'm actually not even sure the tanks can shoot 2 a second. But the way this is going... Ooh, these aren't limited, so let's limit them. I said... Alright, you're limited now. You should be limited now. And so are you. So we'll produce 4 stacks of each. It looks like they stack to 200. So this will be running for a bit, but it's running decently as long as we don't run out of uranium. Let's flip these 4 around again just to keep it topped up. Alright, here we go. Yeah, we are producing, and we get a train every so often, let's say once a minute. But because I had emptied out those chests, they were now picking up extra. We do try to recycle most of the U-235 around, as long as we don't have any coming in, to keep the Corvix process going. But you can see, like, right now, hey, alright, we got way overflow, so let's turn these back again. But these chests are down from the, so they're going to pick up a few hundred each. And now, look, now not enough is coming in. But this will keep it running for a bit. And we have some other things to produce. Artillery shells, I think we'll get to last. But the next thing we should fit in right here are the where are they? Here they are. The rockets and nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs. They look like rockets. So they're all in this blueprint here. And that's what these 4 belts are for. So let's get these hooked up. Coal, plates, circuits, and circuits. Blue circuits and green circuits. And not sure how I want to run this. Let's do some fishing while we wait. Because, hey, one of the cars in our train is a fish car. Apparently each fish you catch is 5 fish items. I don't know if that means, hey, you can make 5 meals out of it or what, but fishing with robots is always so efficient. And we'll just run around the lake once to get the ones we've missed. Also, apparently, the fish know they're marked and decide to give up swimming. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is just fill in the lake just a little bit here. That hopefully, well, to make it easier for me, yeah, we're just gonna do something like that. There we go. And let's copper, coal, iron, green circuits, and a very badly placed belt. I don't want to take the tree down, just that belt. There we go. Yep. So the nuclear or atomic what is it called? Atomic bomb needs U-235. Luckily, we happen to have some right here. Let's split it off right here. So I'm gonna flip this around just for a few minutes while we begin production of this over here. Let's get some power. And alright, I think we have a chest here, one here. Oh, and there's one. That one happens to be in the current logistics range. I'll just put that there, and we can stick down one more power pole. Alright, those are correct. These are also all correct. So let's stick in some belts and get this running. So we have 6 of the nuclear bomb. Oh, I actually completely forgot. This won't work. It also needs water and the petroleum gas. Water is quite simple. petroleum gas. That won't be too bad. Let's get another pump here. And pipe this down. Alright, there we go. So that will produce sulfur, so we can produce explosives, which the all of them need. The rockets, the explosive rockets, and the atomic bombs. Alright. Here we go on production. Let's reset this, but you can see our normal rockets are off at 250 a minute. We're about 100 for the explosive rockets. The nuclear or the atomic bombs should hit 60. They need 10 explosives each. I believe once these are stopped producing, we do get enough explosives down there to hit 60. How long do they take? Oh, they take 50 seconds. Alright, maybe they don't hit 60. Because even at 600%, they're going to take some production. But maybe they do hit 60. Okay. I stand corrected. They do hit 60. Alright. What was that? Oh, this is what's jumping up here. Oh, how did I get... Of course, the iron is gonna jump up and everything because using it. So we actually are hitting 64, 60. Let's call it a 60 average on the atomic bombs. Explosives rockets are about 100, and the normal rockets are about 250. And let's hope okay. Those are limited to one column, but they only stack in 10s. The normals, we are doing 4s, but they stack in 200s, and the same thing with the explosive rockets. So this should just be a few minutes until this is... I mean, we should be full on atomic bombs momentarily. And then these will take another 2-3 minutes. So there's only one more thing that I kind of planned for this episode, and that's artillery shells. They take 15 seconds, 8 explosives, 4 explosive cannon shells, and a radar. But hey, we're not going to use these explosive cannon shell productions, because even though these were producing at a decent rate, we need a lot more if we're going to make artillery shells at a quick rate. So I have this blueprint, which is a bit crazy, but should work. So that's put down. Let's bring in the materials. Most of this actually, well, I mean, it's all for artillery, but like the circuits and the gears are for radars, and like the plastic is for the tank shells. The plastic and the coal goes to making sulfur. Speaking of which, I believe this needs water and petroleum gas again. Shall be done at this end. So water will be simple. Again, we're right next to a lake. Pumps on this one. I know some people play with like water turned way down, such that they only have like one lake in their starting area. I'm not like, alright, if you have a lake of this side, you could probably get a lot of offshore pumps on it, but I mean, I'm using 6 or 7 just here, and don't even have a nuclear power plant, so don't know how those players really do it. We're gonna need petroleum gas here, so we should have some over here. Let's do what I did last time. That's convenient. So this will fill up, and it will provide to here, and then I'll have another pump right here, providing to this new artillery shell production. And hopefully that will be enough with the tank acting as a buffer. Alright, so we have sulfur. We got a bunch of explosive production here. That will provide the explosives for all of these explosive cannon shells. And then we have more explosive production. The problem is, not the problem, but these are put on the outside of this belt that then gets shifted to the inside. They should all be used up by this time. In fact, we only allow the cannon shells off. The cannon shells are then put on the inside. We put more explosive on the outside because the artillery themselves then need more explosive. Additionally, then we have one radar production that's fed from the outside, and this one can keep up with all 4 of these assemblers. So let's hook these belts up. This should be straightforward. I took care to try to get all of these lined up the correct way. And it looks like I succeeded in that. Yeah, so all this production goes to these 4 assemblers and this one chest, which is not limited. Here's the problem. These are not stackable. So we'll make 2 rows, otherwise we're not going to see how quickly this produces. But that's going to be like half the train car right there. So let's get these all going. The coal is put onto half a lane and then comes all the way down and around and put on the conveyor belt here with the sulfur so that it can feed all these explosive production. Wondering if I should actually have another... We'll see if the coal makes it all the way down. If the coal makes it all the way down, great. If it doesn't, I can have this on 2 lanes and sneakily feed. But it does look like it's making it all the way down. Well, alright. There's some gaps, but it's going. We got the cannon shells, we got the explosives. Here we go with the artillery. And we're making it at a rate of 100, 120, maybe 150 a minute. It's probably closer to 125 a minute. But, hey, we've already filled this up. In fact, we're probably going to have the whole train's worth right sitting on the belt here. Speaking of the train's worth, we are a little past an hour mark. I do try to keep these to an hour. But I'd like to load the train with what we've made today. So that'll be the final thing we do, and then call it an episode. This should also be the final episode where I'm on the business trip. So this has been recorded a bit more in advance. I usually do record a few days in advance, but this is actually being recorded more than a week in advance. But I should be back to my normal schedule after, or for the next episode, let's say. So, if these past few, or I should say 3, have been at a little bit of weird times, yeah, it's just I've been on a business trip and I uploaded them early and then set them active or public when I can, or when I was available. What are those there up here? What are they stacked to? I'm not actually going to be able to see, but how many? 50. 50. Arm. Let's power all of these. Alright, these only stack to 10, so we can do 100, I think. We'll do 200 for those, and 200 for those. Let's say 20 for there. Oh, look at that, I missed. Oh. $200. 200. 200. 200. We'll do 400 and 400 and 400 and 400. And 400. I forget what these stack to, but we'll do 200. 50. 50. 50. 50. And finally 50. Okay. Let's look at production. Our ammo is way up there. Let's hit a minute. Now things aren't jumping around as much. Yeah, so you see everything has just gone way up. But oh, you're missing power. But yeah, we got our bots going, bringing all the items here. So that's it for this episode, I think. We still have a lot to do on the combat tab, but we're on our way to finishing it off. I would say at this point we have like 3/4 of the items done. We got the rest of the combat tab to do. We have to come back here and do science and the use up uranium fuel, but that's about it for the all item train. Of course, I've mentioned once we fill this train, I want to drive it out somewhere, duplicate this train with an empty train, pull the completely empty train in, and see how quickly we can fill it up. But yeah, that's going to be at least a few episodes off. We still have, like I said, the rest of the combat, and then we got some science and fuel cell stuff to do. It looks like our trains are quite active getting materials as they're being used up to produce all these weapons and ammo and stuff. But I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Factorio. See you then.